First Robotics is a national program that deals with robotics, and it was designed by Dean Kamen, the inventor of the Segway. And it was to inspire kids to get into basically engineering, science, and technology.
The time we spent in here, we spent on weekends like 12 hours a day, after school 4 to 6 hours a day, pretty much every day for 4 or 5 weeks.
I've really never done much with robots or anything like this.
You know, most of these kids haven't had a whole lot of experience doing this stuff, and being in the class as well, we have.
First has a number of different kinds of competitions. The one that we're doing at the Tech Center currently is for students from 9th through 12th grade. And in addition to that, there is a middle school program for First Robotics. They weren't, by the rules, weren't allowed to participate in the actual competitive event, but they could be a part of all the rest of it. So they could be here during the build, they could be here during testing. So we have students here in my program, Alternative Energy and Robotics, that are participating, but we also have students from throughout the county that can come in and participate. Basically, the way the competition works is that it's centered around a package. And they talk about, here's what we're going to do this year. So there's a challenge that's thrown out. In years past, they've had to throw frisbees. Again, this is all done by the machine itself. And then they have some type of endpoint, so it'd be like basketball, shoot into a hoop or a hole. Then they basically have 6 weeks to start from scratch and build an entire robot.
One of the first ideas was like a catapult, and now we have conveyor belts.
Just finding that perfect balance has been kind of a pain in getting the conveyors to track right.
It started off really slow because we didn't really have an idea, and it took us like a week at least to figure out the idea of what we were going to build. We thought about pneumatics, we thought about so many different ideas with like the grabbers, and then once we decided on one, we stuck with it.
How Plan B works is it's like the ball goes inside of it and it winds up, and it had like a plunger and it would push it. And so if our Plan A, which is with the belts, if that didn't work, that's what we would do.
Sometimes you have to build something and tear it all apart again just to make it work.
I'm part of the pit crew and fixing stuff when it breaks, if it breaks.
Getting the small pieces perfectly right and like those minor adjustments that if you go too far on the adjustment, it just messes the whole thing up.
Our view of First was that we want this to be an opportunity for learning, and we want kids to get excited about this.
We got to pick up the ball, shoot the ball, pass the ball, catch the ball. You know, all this stuff takes a lot of work and a lot of practice. We spent countless hours just running and driving it until we were sick of driving it.
It's like a real life video game.
Again, you know, you have to set the tone that, hey, you know, all of the preparations have been done. You have prepared as much as you can. What we want to do now is just go out there and have fun with it.
We're allowed 30 pounds of extra parts and tools.
Hoping everything goes right and
seeing if anything breaks and hoping it doesn't.
Well, it says that the robot has to be within 20 inches outside the frame perimeter, but there's another section of the rules that says it also has to be completely inside the frame perimeter and then unfold into that 20-inch perimeter. So we had a huge bulky robot that was within the size perimeters, but it wouldn't have been able to make it out into the competition because it didn't unfold.
Because that gave us a big challenge for 3 days to pretty much redo the whole challenge unit.
For us, winning was, did the students walk away with a positive feeling about this experience? Have they learned something about not only themselves but their teammates? And then as we went through the process, you know, it's all the range of emotions that you might have in anything that you find important for yourself.
It's been pretty fun. I mean, I didn't know what to expect.
I've had fun with this entire program.
It's going to be a whole new experience on its own. You know, we got to get our foot in the door. That's about it. I just want to drive the robot.
And then when we get to competition, it's all of those things, plus the added excitement of, oh wow, there's other people here just like us.
It's been exciting. I mean, like, you get to meet new people. Everyone's actually been so helpful for the rookie teams. Like our last competition, there was actually a team that gave us their information if we ever need tools or anything, to come to them.
Getting to know a lot of other people from different teams and realizing that there are people all across the world doing the exact same thing that we are, it makes it a lot more fun and makes it more interactive.
It's even the possibility of building your own robot and going to see it compete with others, and like just the possibility that in like a short little time frame you can create something so big.
Being able to work together with friends and just meet new people and being able to learn how everything works with our robot and the way that the team interaction and the build process, basically. Going through that with everyone else, it's good interaction with other people.
Competition-wise, I think it's been really a wonderful experience for the students. When we went into this, we knew that we were looking at our first round rookie team. The students really have rose to the occasion. They're having fun, they're making great strides in the competitive sense, and they're making great strides in learning about how to deal with technology and the problems that come with deploying technology.
Like all of the whole thing coming together just recently happened. It's like the last 2 weeks of the whole time that we had, like all of a sudden it just came together and became a robot. We were freaking out. Like we had late nights, like we were there till like 10 o'clock.
We had to do some last minute stuff. We barely finished the carts to haul our robot in.
And just hanging out with your friends and seeing like all the robots do their thing, because it gives us ideas for next year.
I think the biggest surprise for me individually would have been the turnout of how many people are actually participating in this kind of event. I didn't realize how widespread it was.
Way big. I thought maybe like there'd be a couple robots that could shoot, and then now there's like every other robot can shoot the ball over the truss, and it's just like, wow, I didn't believe that they could actually do that.
It feels exactly like a video game. It's pretty natural. It's really nice.
I think technology, I'm familiar enough with what to expect, both the pluses and the minus. The one factor that's always an unknown is sort of that human element, which is how are the kids going to react?
Our robot's top heavy, so it tends to easily tip over.
When we built the robot, we put all the weight towards the top and didn't realize how big of an effect that would have in your competition. We were out on one of our first matches.
Well, we had to somehow open our robot, and the only way to open the robot is to spin it real fast so the other side just flips out.
Well, we were trying to spin out the conveyors, and then another team came in and smashed into our robot and knocked it over, and then they kept repeatedly hitting it.
People are very aggressive.
Other robots try to help us because they can help us, but they were so heavy that they can't, so we just lay there till the end of the match.
And then other ones just kept ramming it, and it was bad. We thought our robot was done.
Yeah, we had a tiny design flaw there.
Just the newness of this event. I think when you pull all those together, it puts you on pretty difficult footing to feel confident initially that you're going to meet all the objectives. But again, I think that the students have rose to the occasion, have met every objective, and have taken it all in stride, which I think is a great life lesson.
It's a great experience. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Like I wish I wasn't a senior so I could still be able. I could come back as an adult mentor volunteer, but like I want to come back as a student so I could actually get my hands in more and be able to participate with the competition itself.
Participating more in like the building, because this year was like my first year, so I didn't know how to like build the robot. So hopefully I can teach other people how to build a robot and like how to help and do a lot more with it.
Well, I think the big lesson is we're already in the planning stages now of having some career camps over the summer. And I think, and again, without saying too much that's obvious.
I guess just go out more aggressively than what we had before, and we've rammed a couple of robots pretty hard. I cracked a plexiglass on another robot when I hit it doing a wheelie.
You just got to have fun with life, and the kids are really having a good time. So that's great.
Well, Mr. Jones thought it's nice for us to have donkey ears and a tail. The Mecha Donkeys for us, our team name.
They're just fun. Why don't you have a tinfoil hat?
Patience. You need to have a lot of patience. You need to learn how to control your anxiety down, or else it's not gonna help you much.
The kids really have done an outstanding job. They really have rose to the occasion.
Well, it's changed our style of how we're performing and competing against others. We went from more of an offensive to a defensive position. So now we're basically using ours as lead weight, and we're keeping other teams from scoring. It hasn't put us down or anything. It's just giving us another motive to get right back out there and keep going.
We don't really have like the best chance to win, but I think we have a pretty good chance. I don't know, I like watching all of it happen.
Doing this really, like at first I really did want to do form of engineering like robotics or electrical engineering, but after doing this it pushes that even farther. This is something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Preparation, being prepared, doing everything we can to set the tone for kids working on whatever opportunities we have to get the kids exposed to the process. All of those things make this moment so much easier, so much more enjoyable. To open up that positive emotion is really something that we want to work on and take every opportunity to do that.
Mr. Jones told us to photobomb Skylar.
Well, the hats pretty much put the top on it, so to speak.
Mr. Jones's idea. We first wanted Alpha Wolfpack Dynamite because he just likes that name, I don't know why. And then it was too long, so he just randomly came up with Mecha Donkeys.
The short form is, when we came to this, we saw all kinds of costumes, all kinds of gimmicks. The last one we went to, they were hanging clothespins on people, costumes, you name it. So it was sort of like, okay, this is our second event. We're going to have fun. And last night we were working late and everybody was getting punchy, and I thought this is a good time for foil hats.
Well, we were fixing code on the robot the last competition, and it was still set in autonomous mode, and we had it set up on a cart. And when we turned it on, the whole robot jumped off the cart and took the laptop and everything with it.
Actually, the crowd was pretty silent, and I was screaming. I was like, wow!
It's different, but it's fun because you don't only, like, you always hang around with girls, and now you're hanging out with like the guys, and you see how like they work on like mechanical stuff, and it's different.
You should do it anyways. Every situation is a tinfoil hat situation.